Well, hey, folks from around the world, welcome into Indaba, Africa. This is Chris coming to you from central Pennsylvania. I hope that wherever you find yourself, whether that's in Canada, Guatemala, Argentina, I don't usually do the Western Hemisphere except for maybe Canada, or you find yourself somewhere in Europe, the Far East, Australasia, or in Africa, which is near and dear to the hearts of many of us who watch Chris Wide Africa and the host himself. Whether you're in Nigeria, Liberia, Uganda, Senegal, Botswana, South Africa. Welcome, everybody. Sawubona, South Africa. Dumela, Botswana. Good to see everyone out there. Thanks for joining a busy Sunday. It seems like everybody and their brother's got a live stream on today, and the space is quite crowded. So I thank those of you who've tuned in very much for being here, given how crowded the space is at this hour, and it has been for the past several hours with lots of live streams. Big Daddy Liberty is streaming right now, so I have to miss that because I don't know when he scheduled that, but this is the time I'm usually on. So anyway, hello to everybody. I did want to say very quickly hi to D. Martin, a little shout out to D, watching Stray Voltage for the first time. Welcome. I hope you find it interesting, enjoyable, perhaps something useful to learn or to share, and that should be a good time. Welcome aboard, D. Glad to have you join us on Stray Voltage. Anyway, folks, let me go ahead and get started here on some of the things going on. But before I do want to, as usual, say hello to everybody. And let me get the chat over here where I can see it. I have to wait till I get the actual stream going before I can do that. So that's what happens there, just that you know. So let's say hello to folks. Lezana is here. Good to see you. Wasn't it an awesome show with TG and JS? Gives me some mustard seed. TG and JS. I'm lost. Who are we talking about? RG. Ronaldo host, John Steen host. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I did discover that apparently on Ronaldo's program, are you here, Ronaldo? Are you here? Ronaldo, are you here? Apparently, someone needs to tell me what the minimum threshold is for a super chat so that I'm aware how much I actually have to give to get my message mentioned when you got a hotshot politician on. I'm just teasing. I did a super chat because Ronaldo told me to come on there and ask the question about John Steenhuisen coming onto my channel, Chris Wide Africa. So I did that, and I don't ever recall hearing my name mentioned or my question asked. Anyway, even though I did a super chat. Not that my feelings are hurt. But seriously, Gareth, boy, you had a lot to say here. Gareth and Tion were talking quite a bit before we got started. Anne-Marie Jenkins, good to see you. Lynn is here. Good to see you, Lynn. Gareth, Reese Fundevelt slipped in undetected in silent ninja mode. Welcome, Reese. Janse van Rensberg, good to see you. Paulie, hey. You've been scarce lately, Paulie. I hope you've been doing something useful. Lizette, good to see you. Johan, oh, you're going to get me on this. Oh, that's not even fair, man. It's an H, an Afrikaans. It's not even a German spelling, so I'm going to try it anyway. Johan Hatten. I probably got that wrong. My sorries for butchering that. Linda Griesel, we both know that none of us can pronounce her surname correctly because it's a German surname used in Afrikaans, so we're all confused. It begins with a G. Let's see. Who else? D. Martin. Welcome, D. I already said that. Other side of the N12. Okay. Hendo's here. Anthony, good to see you as well. Yanni, there's Yanni. Okay, Yanni and Reese are in here. Thank you both for popping in. Hendo thinks that Erica is stalking him. Okay. Did somebody see? Is Ursula there? I didn't see Ursula. I saw somebody type Ursula. Bosch Zebra, good to see you. Good to see the Namibian Velvicious jersey. That's correct. Velvicious, one of my favorite ones. I like the red stripe under the under here, and then of course you've got the lovely the Namibian flag on there as well. So I love this jersey. Got it in Japan when I was there during the World Cup. Christoph says questions get ignored. Yeah, I know. But Ronaldo wrote to me privately and told me to do that ahead of time. He probably got caught up in the chat. It was quite a good interview. I think Ronaldo did a great job, and there were some really good questions by folks in the stream. Love to get John Steenhuisen on here. I'm also trying to get Peter Groenewald from the Freedom Front Plus on here as well. One of my subscribers had mentioned that they were related to him, but I haven't heard back on that. So we'll see if we get them on. Been under the lots of overtime at the firehouse. Gotcha. Good to see you're back there, Paulie. Lezan says, is John Steenhuisen coming on your stream when, where, and wow? Yes, well, when, where, and wow would be nice. But no, he's not. I'd like him to come on. I have not been in contact with him. Let's see. This Knee World. Oh, that's a neat one. This Knee World with a Mickey Mouse avatar. I love it. Okay, great. Is the brew here? Is the brew is here. Good evening, Brew. Good to see you. Right. Brew, you're not calling in tonight. I'm just telling you up front. Just kidding. Giving you a hard time. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in to Chris Wide Africa. It's so nice to have you all here on the 5th of July, one day after America's 244th anniversary celebration of our Declaration of Independence. Our Independence Day, the day that the Continental Congress declared its independence for the 13 colonies from the British Empire. July 4th, 1776, 244 years ago. Those who were able to tune in for the stream last night, thanks for joining us. We did a shorter stream last night just to celebrate Independence Day. And today, I don't know if we'll go all that long, but we'll probably do maybe an hour or so. We'll see, unless suddenly lots of interesting questions come in. We'll probably do one about that long, and we'll cover some events, some tragic news, of course, as usual, and hopefully some better news we'll talk about as we get through the events of the day on this Sunday, with quite a bit going on. So for those who didn't catch it, I premiered three, it's better when I do it this way, you can see better, 3 videos before the live stream. I did a video on farm resizing in Zimbabwe. So ZANU-PF is at it once again, playing its little shenanigans when it comes to land in Zimbabwe, deciding it's going to downsize farms, taking 2 farms owned by commercial white farmers. Yeah, there are commercial white farmers still left in Zimbabwe, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, not many, but there are a few. And one of them, his farm is 2,800 hectares, and he raises chickens and sells poultry to the retail sector, 70 tons per month. And they've decided that his farm is too big in Mashonaland West. It can't be larger than 500 hectares. Shame, tragedy. And, tragedy for the gentleman involved. And also another farmer who has 1,800 hectares of land in Mashonaland West. And he grows blueberries for export, raising hard-earned, much-needed hard currency for Zimbabwe's economy. But ZANU-PF, in its infinite wisdom and its genius governance, has decided that farms in Mashonaland West cannot be larger than 500 hectares. Yeah, anyway, so they are going to resize their farms, apparently. So that was the first video. After that video, I aired a video on Zimbabwe's Minister of Sports, Arts, Culture, and Recreation, or whatever the title of that ministry is. That would be, of course, the single most decorated African Olympian in the history of the Olympic Games, Kirsty Coventry, who's won 7 medals at 2 Olympics. She participated in 5 Olympics from 2000 until 2016, every Olympics game, and many other events around the world. A fantastic swimmer. And she won 7 Olympic gold medals, including 2 golds, 4 silvers, and a bronze, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7. She's tied for the most ever individual Olympic swimming medals by a woman. Yeah, an African. Kirsty Coventry. Famously, when she came back from the 2008 Olympics was that in Beijing in 2008, I think it was. She came back from the Beijing Olympics. Robert Mugabe gave her $100,000 in U.S. currency to congratulate her for her Olympic performance. Fantastic job. Yeah, she is now a minister of sports in Zimbabwe under Emerson Mnangagwa's government. Even though technically, as far as I know, she's still not a member of any political party. She was appointed as minister. She's also a member of the International Olympic Committee, and she's been a member of that since 2013. She apparently was allocated a farm. Allocated. What is that? We'll turn that in English. That means the government gave land to her. Now, why did they give land to her? Because she's a minister? Because she's a sports icon? Whom did they take the land from? Well, we know who they took the land from, commercial farmers. And that land was supposedly part of it giving to a black farmer, who was not a farmer, but the nephew of Robert Mugabe. Anyway, so that video is on as well. That was my second video. And the third video that I aired was talking about the liquidation of Air Namibia. The president of Namibia on the 4th of June, in his speech, announced that he thought it was appropriate for Air Namibia to be liquidated. The tiny carrier is deep in debt, unable to raise any revenue because it can't fly anywhere right now, and has not much in the way of prospects. So he suggested that the airline should be liquidated, in stark contrast to his friends in the Angry Naughty Children Party of South Africa. I'm sorry, the African National Congress, Angry Naughty Children, just very similar. So the Angry Naughty Children are desperate to keep the state-owned failed parastatal parasite, South African Airways, sucking on the government teat on non-existent tax revenue and state money that's not there. So rather than simply dismember the carcass of the airline and privatize what's left of it, they wish to bring it back. And they're doing everything they can, full stop, full out, running full speed to make sure that that is what happens in this counter-market approach. But refreshingly, Namibia is willing to let Air Namibia go away. Now, that's good from a market standpoint, and it will benefit Namibians in the end. There'll be some pain up front. But while no one can fly right now anyway because of the lockdown, what better time to liquidate an airline than right now? You may not get much in the way of value, but Air Namibia isn't worth very much, so they're not losing out on much value there. So liquidating it now is probably a sound move, but someone will need to enter into that space for the domestic market because you need a commercial carrier inside of Namibia. It's a huge country, great distances from one location to another, and small number of passengers, so you need the right mix of a commercial carrier. Now, those commercial carriers could work with international airlines, established ones who are successful and profitable like Lufthansa or Ethiopian Airways or Brussels Airlines, to build code sharing agreements, luggage, passengers, frequent flyer miles, things like that, so that if you go to say whatever, let's say that the new airline is called the Welwitschia Lines. So the Welwitschia line for Namibia, a privately held commercial air carrier in Namibia, could go into a partnership with Lufthansa for code sharing, and then they could book. So if you were a Namibian or in Namibia and you wanted to travel and you flew domestically, you went to Welwitschia, you flew with Welwitschia from Windhoek to Swakopmund, great. But next month you have to fly to Stuttgart or to Munich because you got business in Germany. So you go through the Welwitschia booking site and they're a booking agent, and they would book you on a Lufthansa flight, boom, just like that, just like any other airline. This is something that Namibia definitely needs, and it's refreshing to see a government willing to let go of a state-owned carrier, a state-owned enterprise. It's something we don't see in South Africa. So let's see what else we got going on here. Okay. A lot of comments came in while I was saying that. All right. Greetings from Amsterdam. Well, Michael Lawson, greetings to you from Amsterdam. Wow. Amsterdam, pretty cool place. Still never been to the Anne Frank house. I've been to Amsterdam several times, and every time I go, I try to go to the Anne Frank house. The last time I was there, it was a beautiful sunny day, and there were about 500 people in line. I'm like, nope, that's it. Next time. Right. Cool. D says, how sweet. Thank you, Chris. Definitely here to learn. Okay, cool beans. Birds of feather flock together. Okay. Let's see. Let me catch up. I've zipped ahead there. Lynn says, thank you for the videos on Zimbabwe. You're welcome, Lynn. I try to do a lot of content in Zimbabwe. On my LinkedIn account, I've done a lot of Zimbabwe content over the years. Resize farms. Yeah, you need to listen to that video, Eric. What they're saying is the farms are too large, and the excuse is the ecology, the environment. Only there were commercial farmers there for a century before ZANU-PF started this nonsense, and they didn't damage the environment. They actually improved the environment by making good use of resources and using conservation. Lawrence Woods is asking Hendo to stop using all caps. Okay. Hello, Jenny S. Good to see you there. Tian, Quentin Nagel. Quentin, good to see you there. Free medical for all. Can't wait. Free medical. Yeah. Okay. Doc Breaker, good evening. Gareth, have you seen Marabani's videos yet? No, I didn't know Marabani made videos. I was going to ask him to come on and be a guest on my channel based on him being on here the other night. He sounded like an interesting fellow. I did not know he had a channel. So that would be interesting to see. I suppose I should look him up. Bosch Zebra says they have West Air. Yes, they operate smaller Embraer. Yeah, they do. They do. That's true. West Air is there. But it doesn't cover all domestic routes that need to be covered in Namibia. So good point, though. Thank you, Bosch Zebra. Santa Cruz, Dogbreaker, where's my links? What links? Good evening, Ana. So listen, not to bring people down or bum people out, but just very quickly to share this. This sort of nonsense is still going on, of course, unabated in South Africa. Although we are in lockdown, aren't we? Isn't there a thing called lockdown? That's what I thought. My video just went crazy on me here. What's going on there? Okay, there we go. No, we are supposedly in lockdown, but in South Africa, we still have all kinds of nonsense taking place in which this very unfortunate and sad incident took place. For those who are unaware of it, I'm going to talk about it very quickly here. Here we go. Right, there we go. So British Falklands war hero tragically shot dead at his home in South Africa. British Falklands war veteran died after being shot during an armed robbery at his home in South Africa. This is published today, but this occurred on the 3rd. Former Royal Navy sailor Julian Stobbs, 59, suffered multiple gunshot wounds defending his partner after an armed gang broke into his farmhouse near Lanseria in Johannesburg. The horrific attack took place during the early hours of Friday, July 3rd, while the war hero was asleep alongside his longtime partner, Myrtle Clark, in their bedroom. Emergency services rushed to the couple's remote jazz farm, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. South African authorities confirmed the attackers made away with 2 laptops, jewelry, and other valuables. And for this, you murder a veteran. You murder a human being. Fatality is confirmed in a statement on the couple's official Facebook page. Spokesman for the Neighborhood Watch response team said the gang broke into the farm, stole 2 phones, 2 laptops, jewelry, and other valuables. They'd left the farm, leaving the 2 alive, but for some reason they came back, perhaps for the woman, and there was a struggle, and the man was shot. His injuries from the bullets were bad, and nothing could be done to save him. The woman was in very bad state, but fortunately had not been hurt. Julian Stubbs served in the Royal Navy on the HMS Penelope in the Falklands in 1982. The former British serviceman was also an air traffic controller for a Lynx helicopter during the battle. Mr. Stubbs, originally from Cumbria, left the armed forces in 1990 and went on to pursue a music career in Tokyo before traveling to South Africa 3 years later. Known by his friends as Jules, became somewhat of a local celebrity as he used his jazz farmhouse as a private members and socials club since 1994. He and his partner later became known as the Daga couple after winning a 5-year battle to make smoking cannabis legal in South Africa. In 2013, he launched a campaign that became known as the Trial of the Plant to decriminalize the smoking, growing, and possession of cannabis for personal use. Yep, there is no justice and law and order in parts of South Africa. And this is a failure of the ruling party and the government of the day. And society at large, too. Absolutely. So sad to see. So sad to see. Oh, Marabani's the one that made that first, second, third disposition. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to watch that. Thank you, Gareth. Autonomous Zone, New York. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another killing in South Africa. This one for someone who's actually somewhat famous. And life continues, and the ANC does very little. Meantime, you still have a smoking ban in South Africa, and that includes vaping for South Africans who vape. I don't care for it, but if you want to do it, that's your prerogative, as long as you're an adult. But it's not allowed in South Africa, with the nonsensical vape ban still in effect. Unbelievable. What do you want? Horrific, a mom 3 months pregnant. Gareth, you won't be able to link it unless you're a moderator, so I'm not sure which link you want to put in here. 3 months pregnant, killed in front of her daughter. Yeah, I heard about that one. I didn't want to share that story. Yeah, it's just actually what happens is quite horrific in many cases, really sad. Really, really, truly sad what happens. But in the meantime, gosh, I'm sure you're all just dying to know this. Let me share this with you. Charlize Theron will share how her childhood in South Africa is helping her raise her daughters. The actress spoke candidly about homeschooling her kids in the future of Hollywood after the coronavirus, using her childhood in South Africa during the AIDS epidemic and apartheid to help her 2 daughters understand the coronavirus pandemic and recent unrest over racial justice in America. She has 2 adopted daughters, Jackson 8 and August 5, who are black. I've had this flashback where I remembered vividly, my God, I was 8 years old when the AIDS epidemic hit South Africa. All right. I'm sure that you've seen enough of Charlize Theron, as have I. Yes, she can keep her stories to herself and her attention-seeking Charlize Theron. Yep, there you go. Anyway, so I'm not going to talk about her. Well, listen, Hendo, it's not just Afrikaners that can't stand Charlize Theron. It's lots of people who can't stand her. Yikes. Lots of people can't stand her. Here he goes. Here he comes. Morton, I can't stand that woman. Tian says, maybe someone should remind her AIDS isn't airborne. Charlize, I'm rolling my eyes at you. Paul Gallimore says, sorry for UK citizen, but hopefully it will bring some publicity to the plight of farmers. Katie Hopkins can't do it all. Well, Katie Hopkins isn't doing it alone, Paul, and she's rather late to the game. Katie Hopkins is busy going on about Brexit for the past 5 years when the rest of the world has been talking, well, not the rest of the world, but many of us have been talking about what's going on. The difference is that Katie Hopkins has a platform. Wait, no, she doesn't have a platform. She's been deplatformed. She's gone to Parler, but I haven't seen much of her on Parler, so we'll see what's happening. Imagine being 8 years old and caring about HIV/AIDS. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, don't get started on Trevor Noah. Absolutely right. Good point there. Yeah, no, Charlize Theron. I just thought I'd share that because I'm sure somebody was curious to hear about what's happening in the world of Charlize Theron. Yes, yeah. Apartheid, a system of racial segregation that kept black South Africans separated from the white population, ended in the early 1990s, but not without a struggle. Theron recalled how the country almost broke out in civil war. I'm sorry, were you absent? I thought you grew up in South Africa. There was a civil war. Yes, there was, between Inkatha and the African National Congress, primarily in KwaZulu-Natal, or Natal as it was known then. There was a civil war, the People's War. Yes, my goodness. Charlize Theron. What a gas bag. Anyway, but it appears on Today, which is an NBC channel, which is a gas bag of a network to begin with. So not like it's anything particularly unique going on there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on the channel coming up this week, a couple reminders here very quickly on Chris Wyatt Africa. Tomorrow, we have Dax, who is a South African artist who was a panel beater for many, many years, 18 to be exact, and then went into painting. He does some amazing painting and some artistic work. He'll be on my channel tomorrow, special feature at 11 Eastern, 5 p.m. in South Africa and in Botswana. So please tune into that. That should be interesting for a Monday, something interesting to start the day. On Tuesday, still waiting for more information and confirmation, but the plan right now is a special feature live stream at 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 in South Africa, in Botswana, and 8 p.m., in Namibia. And this will be Marlis. Marlis, of course, became an instant celebrity with the uploading of a viral video in which she crashed her bicycle into a rugby goalpost. And some of you may be familiar with that video. It's titled F something, My Marlis. Anyway, so she became quite a bit of an instant celebrity worldwide, not just in South Africa, over that video. And it's only 18 seconds, the video long. But anyway, so she is currently living in the Netherlands where she works as an au pair, planning to return to Namibia sometime soon in the fall. And she will be my guest here on Tuesday. Should be interesting to hear her on the channel and hear what she's got to say, learn a little bit about instant fame, instant celebrity, what it's like, and if it changed or didn't change her life in any way. So that'll be Marlis. That'll be on Tuesday. On Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, right here on this channel, please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody. Nadine Hoffet, the acclaimed, award-winning, awesome premier Afrikaans musician, singer from South Africa, from Durban originally, will be on this channel, Chris Wyatt Africa, right here, Wednesday. Special feature, 11 Eastern, 5 p.m. in South Africa and in Botswana. Nadine, that's right. I'll be interviewing her right here on Chris Wyatt. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be fascinating. Please tell your friends, your neighbors, anybody you can tell. Let them know so we can get a good stream, get a good audience turned in here, a large number of viewers to make it worthwhile for her time. Really looking forward to that. Nadine on Wednesday. And on Friday, we have scheduled Giselle to come back on, the Afrikaans singer from Namibia who lives in Pretoria. Giselle will be on the channel this coming Friday for another special feature at the same time. That one will be at 11 Eastern, 5 p.m. in South Africa and Botswana. You might notice a trend here. Most of my special features appear at that same time. That's for consistency. Anyway, so Giselle will be on. We're planning going about 90 minutes for this stream, not 4 hours, but 90 minutes. And Giselle and I will be talking about her singles from the new album. She recently debuted, Für uns Mensa, which, by the way, debuted right here live on Chris Wyatt Africa back on May 8th. You can find it under previous live streams. And if you want to watch that concert, it's 1 hour and 3 minutes. And Giselle will be my guest. And we're celebrating the fact that all of the songs are now released digitally. So every digital platform has each of the songs from that album. So if you're curious, you can go check it out and you can buy it. I'll have the links in there on the video if you want to go buy her music and check it out. And you'll be able to listen to Giselle as we talk about the songs on the album, and then we play a couple of music videos and discuss in between. So that's this Friday. In addition, got a few other guests trying to get on here. Jeremy Nell from Germ Warfare. In addition, David Otto, a security specialist from the UK who's of Nigerian origin, and he and I and another guest will be on talking about security and geostrategic issues across Africa, the Sahel in particular, in West Africa. That's coming up soon, and a few other folks. So there you go, folks. Anyway, just a few things coming up. Oh, thank you, Yanni, for putting the Giselle link in there. I appreciate that. Gareth says, couldn't stand her from the character she played, scummy, then she opened her personal mouth. I think you're talking about Charlize Theron. Yeah. Hey, Brew, are you still there? She's your relation, your distant one anyway. You don't have to engage on that. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Stop fighting in the chat. There's no need to fight in the chat. Better have all the moderators around for what stream? What stream are we talking about? I don't have Charlize on here. Are you guys joking about me getting Charlize Theron on my channel? A while ago, I shared a tweet with you. I'm the lead actor of Black Panther. Did you see the nonsense he was spewing? No, I didn't see that, Wesley. I'm not sure. Formula One drivers take a knee. Well, that's because they're morons, Anne-Marie Jenkins. Anyone who bows and in subservience to anyone else is an idiot. An absolute idiot. And what they'll try to equate that with is prayer. You know, as you bow and you kneel for prayer, that's what they're trying to equate it with. But they don't care about religion or about faith or about God, whether your God is Jehovah, It's God or it's Allah, however you describe your God. They don't care about God. They're just malcontents. Their idea is to subjugate people. They don't believe in equality. You know, it's hilarious. We spent decades fighting for equality and inclusion and desegregation in America. And we achieved all that. And then 30 years later, a bunch of malcontents come along and accuse us of being racist and then start segregating and separating and denying and trying to cancel out people based on their gender, based on their skin pigmentation, and based on their ethnic origin. Yeah. This is a group of people that overwhelmingly is a small minority, supported by a small minority from the very group that they're trying to persecute. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely, you know. So if you look at Chaz, the treasonous, insurrectionist, self-declared zone of malcontents and morons and criminals inside of Seattle, you'll notice that in the course of their short-lived and pathetic republic, they created segregated zones where only black folks could go. White folks weren't allowed to go to these zones. Now, how does that answer the question of equality, integration, inclusivity, and diversity? It's the opposite of all of it. This is all horse manure. It's all horse manure. There are legitimate issues here but they were lost long ago. They're not part of the conversation and not part of the discussion, and they haven't been since about 48 hours after this nonsense started around the 1st of June. And that's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. That is the reality. And the media is so aware of this, that they continually bend over backwards to come up with fictional narratives and portray what's actually happening in the United States and around the world in the false fashion. You notice not a single person in the media has mentioned something I've been mentioning since the outset of this, and I'm still waiting. It'll eventually happen, but it has not happened yet. We are now 8, nearly 9 months into this current pandemic, and this virus has yet to cause as many fatalities globally as malaria did in 2019. In 2019, malaria killed 620,000 people around the globe. Most of them in Africa, by the way. 620,000. We haven't reached that level yet with this virus. Now, of course, the argument will be, well, that's because we shut the world down. No. I dispute that. And we're seeing that as we see so-called spikes take place. You've not reached herd immunity in the population. And so until you do, you're going to continue to see cases rise. That's the reality here. Anyway, so you don't see the press ever talking about the 620,000 people who died from malaria, the 800,000 people in 2019 who died by their own hands from suicide, the 900,000 people around the world who died as a consequence of HIV/AIDS, which is nearly double the number of people who died from this current virus, or the 1.5 million people who died from tuberculosis, very painful way to die, by the way, in 2019 globally. 1.5 million people. This virus is not going to reach that level this year. Yet we've shut the world down for it. Absolutely shut the world down for it. And where is the media making these comparisons? Where are the analysts talking about these things? They're not to be found. Age is catching up with Charlize, Kanye says. Irrelevance is catching up with her, hence her reason for telling us about her experience growing up. Erica says, Charlize is a beautiful woman, but a disappointment to her folk. She's a disappointment to the planet every time she opens her mouth, Erica. Just because someone's beautiful, it doesn't mean anything. Yanni, thanks for posting the Nadine special feature. I really appreciate that. And Linda loves my F. Marlis. Well, that should be interesting. I hope to see you tune in for that stream. Let's go. What's this? Go back. What's this? Somebody trying to call me in here? Where are we at here? Age is catching up with Charlize. Sorry, I fell behind here, and then the chat got messed up. Gas bag savage. Positive story for Monday. Yeah, Garrett, thanks. I think that Dax should be interesting. Talk about art, and we'll talk about the impact of him being able to sell his art and what's happened. Because a big part of how he makes his money, raises his money as an artist, as a painter, is he sells his artwork at fairs. But the fairs have all been suspended, and that's cost him dearly. So maybe you guys might find his artwork interesting. In fact, I think I put up the page at one time. Let me see if I can find that again. The artwork. I'm just trying to find where this is at. I had this thing here. There we go. If I can find that link again, it'll take me a moment, and I'll bring it back up in the browser. But now the page doesn't want to work. It's taking a long time to load. So I'll give that a moment to load. I think it's actually because my phone is acting up here. Just a moment. Right, there we go. Hopefully it will load. Right, there we go. Now it's loading. Let me see if I can find that link to his artwork. There we go. That's not it. That's not it. I'm trying to find. I had a link for it anyway. No, I'm not finding it. Anyway, I will make sure that we have the link there. But anyway, so yeah, Dax sells his artwork at fairs, and he's had a big impact from the lockdown restrictions in South Africa. So we'll talk about that. Should be an interesting Monday discussion. Let me see. Oh, the brew wants to show me his new setup. Not yet. Charlize was a Benoni girl, okay? What's cock funny? What did I say, Yanni? Northern Stealth is here. Good to see you. The world of printing money is the point of no return before they brought in the virus as a smokescreen to cover up money scam. I don't know. Maybe. Right. Marhabani. Hey, Marhabani's here. Good to see you, Marhabani. Crypto sounds good. When electrical security is weak, your ecom will be shutting off every so often. Marhabani, speaking of Marhabani, would you like to come on the program as a guest sometime in the next week or so? You let me know. Just tell me in the chat, and we'll take a look at it if you'd like to come on. I thought I'd invite you on the channel, and we'll pick a topic and discuss it sometime here in the near future if you'd like to. The brew paints. Okay, well, I have no artistic talent, ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever, so I can't paint, I can't sing, I can dance, but not professionally. Not close, not professionally, not going to happen. Yeah, a lot of people do paint. People find it to be very relaxing and calming sort of thing, so there you go. Yeah. Oh, there it is, Yanni. Thanks. Okay, that's right. It was a Facebook page. Yanni, you were brilliant, man. Glad to have Yanni as a moderator on tonight. He has put the link to Dax's Facebook page. Yep, exactly. I want to copy that link. Okay, I actually want to open up in a window so people could see it. And you can get a look at what some of his art looks like here. Let me find this very quickly. There we go. Okay, so let me bring this up on the screen for folks to see now. Here you go. All right, so there's some of the work that Dax does, Dax Tfala, and he'll be on here. You can see there's a picture of Johannesburg there in the top painting. Here's some of his other work right there. Very interesting approach he does to it. But, yeah, so let me actually click on some of these pictures here. See the rhino there if it wants to come up. There we go. Right. So he does some interesting artwork. And Dax will be my guest on Monday. So please tune in on Monday and check that out. Should be interesting. And who knows, maybe you might want some of his artwork. Never know. But I'm happy to showcase him here on the channel. As you guys know, this channel is not simply a channel about politics. I'm happy to talk about politics. That's what was the basis for forming it for my consultancy. But also trying to bring some other things onto the stream so that people, get a little bit more light viewing to watch and do some things that are more interesting beyond simply politics. Hence the reason for my focus on music as well. And now I've had Giselle on a couple times, and now I have Nadine coming on, trying to get a few other artists on here as well. As I mentioned before, I never got a response, but I reached out to Bobby Wine in Uganda and to VMPZ in Botswana, trying to get some other African artists on here. But anyway, so that's Dax. Dax will be coming on tomorrow, folks, so please tune in for that. Should be interesting. Let me see what else. Lone Wolf says, hey, Chris, read up on Pneumococcal Vaccine, which a lot of diabetics, asthma sufferers could get. Strange to see that our government is not mass vaccinating our vulnerable population. Yeah, well, it's interesting because along with a lot of vaccines that are required in America, or rather as required as they can be, they're recommended, so most kids get them, are not required in many countries in Africa. It's astounding to me. Really astounding to me that a lot of things we have that are vaccines simply aren't used in Africa. I'm kind of surprised by that. But anyway, so I guess there's physicians and medical departments focus on different things in different parts of the world. Let's see. Erica says, we have a local gem living up just the road from me, Winston Smile, opera trained, but writes his own music as well. Just wrote a stunning song about the Boer farmer. Really, Erica? Okay, well, if you don't mind, mention my channel to him and pass him my email address. And if he's interested, I'll reach out to him and I'll see if maybe we can get him on. That might be interesting. Yeah, I've been happy to do that. Oh, and there's Erica saying I'll email his details to you. Well, that'd be great. I'm happy to get it. Let me see. We need Marabani on another live stream. Well, Northern Stealth, what do you mean you need him on here again? Is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean, and that's why I just asked Marabani if he'd like to come on and be my guest for one of the programs. He's a resident singer on the Loving Life channel. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Good. Cool. Right. Let's see. What else we got here? saw that video in March. Yeah, so let me ask this question, folks. Those who tuned into the live stream I did in which I played all those Twitter, short videos from Twitter, did you like that or did you not like it? It was something a little different. So I've tried a few different things here. I've read from Dinesh D'Souza's book, and I'll be doing that again. I've continued reading that book. Wow. Dinesh D'Souza just hits it right on the money. He also points out a lot of these idiots who came up with these ideas that socialists and leftists seem to be so in love with. The original originators of these ideas in America. And it's just fascinating how intelligent, how well-read, how smart, and how insightful Dinesh D'Souza is. It was really good to read his book. So I'll be reading that again coming up. Vitarko, there you are. Welcome aboard. Did you just come over from Big Daddy Liberty? Did he just end? Oh, Lynn said he replied that he would. Okay, all right. I missed that. Sorry about that, Marabani, if you said you would. Excellent. Great. Cool. How did I miss that? Well, the problem is these chats... these chats just don't quite work as well as they should all the time. Yeah, but anyway, so thoughts on that, folks. Let me ask you very quickly. Okay, yes, if you liked me showing the silly, well, not silly, but frightening in many cases. Do you like seeing the Twitter videos? Yes or no? Just give me some feedback on that very quickly. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, I got one already. So just to give me an idea so I know, as I don't want to waste people's time with something if it's not interesting, but I thought it was fascinating. I really enjoyed that stream, and the time went by remarkably fast. I mean, I was like, whoa, we already passed that much time? Interesting that it went by so fast because it was a lot of fun. By the way, thanks for watching my videos, folks. The Zimbabwe land controversy, shrinking farms, has already got 174 views. The Kirsty Coventry in Zimbabwe land dispute, 146, and my Air Namibia liquidation. Air Namibia being a small country, not a lot of people are interested in, has gotten 86 views. So thank you so much for tuning in for that. Appreciate you guys watching my content. And we're up to 4,182 subscribers right now. And I was looking at that for a reason. What was the reason I was looking at that? So Northern Stealth is stuck in Europe and would like to come visit the Netherlands for chat, maybe grab lunch. Well, there's an idea. Cool beans. 1,046 Rand per vaccination in South Africa, so it would be too expensive for government to give for free. That is pretty pricey. Hank Adrian says, Chris, maybe you can have a live stream with an American YouTuber like Mike, a retired police officer. Yeah, I think, Hank, you've mentioned him previously, and I didn't find his channel. So let me see. I'm going to make a note of that right now, Hank, so I don't forget that. Boy, it really does feel like Sunday, though, doesn't it? I'm kind of, Sunday's usually, it's the end of the week, but it's also kind of the start of the week. But nonetheless, today I feel a little like it's Sunday. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah, that would be interesting to have that live stream. Keep the streams shorter. I can't keep my kids away from school. Linda really enjoyed the videos that were played. Okay, thank you for that. Cool. All right. Cool. I'll try to do that. Who could possibly dislike Chris's video? I feel like boxing some ears of clean wax. Well, Erica, listen, maybe there's something that someone said. I mean, we had the brew on the other night, and the brew was let's just say he was enjoying libations a little bit, and not to pick on the brew, but that one's easy because we all remember the brew. But it's not just the brew having libations. I've had other streams where someone's had a drink, and then some people don't like that people are drinking alcohol on the channel. Some people don't like profanity. I try to stay away from profanity as much as possible, especially the hard profanity, and not insulting people. But it takes very little for someone to dislike a video. So, I don't lose a lot of sleep over it. But then we have to remember that probably 3/4 or more of the people who dislike videos don't even watch them, or they're trolls. And that's the truth. So as in Ronaldo Hos on his channel, I can go and see 6 dislikes that he hasn't even aired the video yet, just by announcing he has a video or who his guest is. I've not had any dislikes yet before I premiered a video or aired a live stream, but there are some usual suspects who do it. So it happens. You can't expect everyone to like what you're doing. What I do expect, though, is people to behave. So, for instance, Kalunda, are you here, Kalunda? Kalunda, I don't know if Kalunda ever watches these videos. He did early on, and then I only ever saw Kalunda making comments about videos after the fact. So for the live stream with Major General Johan Josta that we had yesterday, which I thought was an amazing stream, you guys should watch it. Really good discussion talking about his life in military, and he and I comparing the values of military service and being a soldier and how it contributes leadership and discipline and all those things. And then his role in the corporate sector, and then with the Park Service in South Africa, conservation, trying to stop rhino poaching. And we talked about all these things. I thought it was a very fascinating conversation. We got dislikes on that video. I'm like, why? And then Kalunda commented on the video afterwards in the comments, which led me to believe he didn't watch the video because it was sometime after that, almost a day later. Kalunda came on and said, these people don't know nothing about Africa, yada, yada, yada. My brothers and sisters being killed by apartheid in America or something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? There was nothing in the conversation about America. It was about conservation, about his service in the military. The only America part of it was some American host asking questions and talking about his personal experience in uniform, much of it being in Africa. But nonetheless, Kalunda said this. So I wrote back to Kalunda. I said, listen, you're welcome to comment. You're welcome to be on the channel. But if you're just going to use name calling, there's no point being here. And so he came back and said, you're saying I'm a racist? What did I say? Then I just go away or quit commenting. I said, no, you're welcome to comment. But substantive comments, not simply calling people names, Anyway, so not to pick on Kalunda. Maybe Kalunda means well, but it doesn't come across that way from the comments. And there are some folks that like that, Erica. So, you can't please everybody. And if you try to please everybody, it's a fool's errand. So as I've said before, you just have to be who you are, be true to yourself, be forthright, be honest, treat people fairly, and, things usually work out for the best for everybody. Anyway, Ranger Jakes likes my hat. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got a couple of these. Let me see. The other one here. No, the other one's in the other room now. Sorry. But I have 3 or 4 of these World Cup hats. They're all different, and that's why I wound up buying 4 of them. I like this one especially. It's really cool. So you got the Rugby World Cup on the side there, and then beautiful from the front. Good quality, too. Let me see. It's probably made in China, but I don't know. And nice. You see, look here. It's got the stitched name, the tape in there, too. So that's good quality. That's not just printed. That's actually embroidered. Really good quality stuff. And it was probably made in China. Yeah, it's made in China, but it's made by the good Chinese companies. They make stuff well. So this was for the Rugby World Cup, which was an amazing, amazing event, by the way, folks. I really wish I'd recorded more videos when I was there. I didn't think about that for my channel. That would have been a cool thing to do. But I like the hat too. Thanks a lot. Love the jersey. This one was awesome. For those who don't know, I'll tell the story very quickly. I went to the South Africa, the Springboks versus the Velviches at Toyota City Stadium. And I had not been able to get the Velviches jersey for the 2019 World Cup, and I was already there. The reason is because they didn't come up with this jersey until just a few days before the World Cup itself, so it wasn't available online or in any stores anywhere. So when you go to the arenas, of course, they don't sell jerseys for every team at every event. They're only going to sell jerseys for the teams that are playing at that event, and of course, Japan stuff. So I stood in line for a good 45 minutes or so before the game, because I got there long before the game started. And it was so humid and hot. I was like, oh, it's terrible. The game was nice, but waiting was hot and humid. And I'm standing in line, waiting. And as I go up, there were a bunch of these jerseys hanging up in one of these mobile selling points, this van. And there were about 20 people inside the van. That's how long it was. Here's a rugby ball, here's a T-shirt, here's a polo, here's this, here's that, and then the jerseys. And I watched, as I got closer, it was a snake. The queue was like this. You snake back and forth. And as I worked up each row, I eventually got almost to the front. And I'm like, oh, man, they're going to run out of jerseys. They're going to run out of jerseys. And I so wanted this one because I have a 2015 road jersey, which is all red from Namibia. I actually like this one better, although the red one's very attractive. Anyway, so I got almost to the end, and I looked up, and I saw like one jersey left. I'm like, oh, man. And just in front of me, somebody is up there. They point to the jersey, Japanese person, and they give them the jersey. They pull it down. I'm like, oh, I waited here for 40 minutes for nothing. And I look back up, and they're like, oh, no, extra large, too big. And so they, wait. Joe Emilio, are you here? Is that racist? Can I say that? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Joe, you should be able to tell me this. You know about cancel culture. Did I just do something wrong? Let me know. Anyway, but so too big. So they gave it back and hung it up, and I'm like crossing my hands, my fingers crossed, like, oh, please, no, wait. Anyway, so then I got called up, and I rushed over because it was the same spot with that cashier, and I said, grab that jersey. And she reached for the jersey, brought it over, and I said, what size is it? She said, extra large. I'm like, yes. And that's how I got this jersey. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got one. So it was not a simple effort to simply go online and order a jersey or go to a shop and get it. This one was a big effort to get. Anyway, so some of you have heard that before, but anyway, if you have, I apologize for that. Okay, no booze in live stream. Yep. Like the stream. Thank you, Lynn. Oh, you're telling people to like it. Gareth says, even I don't dislike his videos. Gareth, why would you dislike my videos? I thought we got along well. Did I miss something? Are you guys disliking my video? Are you playing that now? I'm going to have to check it out. Toyota Stadium, Bloemfontein, my hometown. Yeah, that's Toyota Stadium in Bloemfontein, where I've been for the Tri-Nations when the Springboks beat the All Blacks. Yeah, that was awesome. Yorita Ostoyson says, military's not what it used to be. Well, welcome, Yorita. Good to see you. Welcome to see you here tonight. Blue suits, you good. Well, thank you, Northern Stealth. Very kind of you. Bruce says, I live in a country where there's no hope, no future, and you wonder why I drink. Well, I think there's hope. I think there is a future, but you just have to be armed and be prepared for what's going on around you in the meantime. Don't dislike Ronaldo's videos. He's a lefty. Do you dislike my videos, Gareth? Anyway, now I'm curious. People keep talking about disliking the video. Now I got to go see what's going on here. Are people disliking this video? Now I'm going to go look because you've just all got me curious. In case you're wondering, I have a second monitor over here. That's why I'm turning sideways. It's not just to give you a profile view. So let me look and see. Now I'm curious. There it is. Okay. That's not it. That's not the link I wanted. Come on, here we go. So trying to get there now. Come on, let me. By the way, the photograph for this stream, in case you saw it, is a photograph of the local Pier 1 Imports. Pier 1 is a kind of a knick-knack bric-a-brac shop. Sells furniture and things you put in your house. Anyway, Pier 1 has filed for bankruptcy in the midst of the pandemic. Now, to be fair, this is a company that's been in bad shape for some time. So not a surprise. Oh, we got one dislike. Okay. 30. Okay. All right, wait. So, okay. Now I'm going to intervene. You guys are talking about likes and dislikes. There are 66 people watching this channel right now, and we've got 37 likes. Come on. Do me a solid. Come on. A little bit of e-begging here. You guys started the like discussion, not me. A little bit of e-begging. Can I get some likes? They cost nothing, absolutely free. Unlike membership to the channel, you don't have to pay to like a video. So come on, give me some likes. 45. There we go, a couple likes. Now I'm starting to feel like Ronaldo. All right, I got 45. Can I get 46, 46, 46, 47? Can I get 50? Can I get 50, 50, 50, 50, 55? Can I get 55? Hey, over there, 35, 35, 35, 35. Yeah, 48, 48, almost 50. Oh, we're so close. 48 now. And a dislike. You guys are fun. Anyway. We got up to 48 like that. The Bruce has a dislike coming in. I saw the dislike. There it was. Come on, people like this video. Thank you, Erica. Another Guanzu is a nice philosophy regarding this topic. Young men need to feel they can be able to defend themselves and believe in a higher ideal. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Anthony says, can't like it twice. Yeah, no, I got that. It's funny you should say that, Anthony, because when I was in early days of watching Ronaldo, Ronaldo would be on all the time saying, hey, come on, can we get some likes in this video? Let's get to 100, let's get to 50, let's get 200, something like that. And I'm out on the road exercising, and I've got my mobile. I'm like, I can't like it. I can't like it. So I'm like, hey, man, I can't like it. Then I get back home, and he's still on, and I come on here, and I'd like it. And I'm like, dude, I already liked it. What do you want me to do? I can only do it one time. Garrett says, don't be like Lefty Ronaldo. He supports government-sponsored abortion. His wife seems like a Karen. Ooh, that's just mean. I didn't know Ronaldo supported abortion. That's interesting. Linda's loving it. Sean's digging it. Okay. Oh, well, we get to 50. Oh, we're at 50 now. Can we get 100? I don't know if we're going to get 100. We only had 63 people on the channel and 3 left because I was e-begging for likes. Hey, at least I'm not e-begging for super chats. I'm not doing that. Anyway, but listen, absolutely Sunday here. So topics that come up that people are concerned about for the coming week. Well, with the U.S. now has gotten past Independence Day, and we're coming into the home stretch, if such a thing exists in the midst of the pandemic, for the 2020 elections. And the press is on a full court, the media is on a full court press to convince America that Donald Trump is going to lose. Coming up with polls that claim that he's behind by 20 points. To who? Joe Biden? The guy's a doorknob. He's not even lucid. They're juicing him just before his videos. Sit still, Joe. Sit still. They're shooting the guy up. Okay, I'm awake. Okay. I think Donald Trump should ban travel from China. Joe, he did that on January 31st. I think that Donald Trump should ban travel from Europe. Joe, he did that on March 12th. I think that I'm a moron. Joe, you're correct. Anyway, yeah, so Joe Biden, the known and disclosed plagiarist, the man who sat in Congress for nearly 40 years and accomplished, let me come up with that landmark signature legislation of Joe Biden. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. He was a big proponent of three strikes or you're out by criminalizing putting people who are drug offenders in prison. And who did that affect the most? The African American community. Yes, where black men were in prison for mandatory sentencing as a consequence of drug-related offenses. Who was a champion of that? Joe Biden. But I thought Joe Biden was a friend of the black community. Well, maybe Joe Biden is a friend of the black community because you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe. You're not black. Yeah. Anyway, you gotta love it, folks. The silliness of the presidential season here in the United States is something else. Please make contact with LMS Tactical Mike. Okay, Terrence is saying that now. Is Terrence the second person, or is Terrence repeating that request? No, Hank also said it. Okay, that's two of you. All right, guys. I hope this is a cool dude and not some loony out there. You guys, some of you guys have pointed out some loonies to me. Yeah, I heard the monkey pushing one that Kanye West was running in 2020. Well, good for Kanye West. Good for him. Let me ask you guys a question. Who do you think is going to vote for Kanye West? Overwhelming. Men, women, Asians, whites, black Americans. Who's going to vote for Kanye West? You want to take a guess that it's going to be mostly urban males, black urban males in America? So those who vote for Kanye West, guess who they're not voting for? Joe Biden. So if they're voting for Kanye West and not voting for Joe Biden, who's the winner here? Kanye West? Kanye West is not going to get 65 million votes. Trust me. That means they'll just help Donald Trump win again. So Kanye West, feel free to run for office, my friend. Enjoy your experience. I originally had a dream as a child. I said that in 2000, I would run for president. And my plan was to run as an independent and just travel the country. That was my plan as a kid. I said, I'm going to do this in 2000, and I'll walk all around the country. I'm going to meet people and make myself known and get their feelings and thoughts and run as an independent candidate, get registered in 50 states with signatures, and run for president. That was my plan. But in 2000, I found myself in Tunisia, so it didn't quite work out that way. And I was still in the Army, so it didn't quite work out that way. She's a Karen, not a Karen. Karen, okay? You have to watch videos of American auctioneers tuned to rapper music. Well, that would be interesting, okay. Where are we at? We are at 56 likes now. And I think somebody was playing with the dislike button. They took it away, so we're back to one dislike. Terrence Lowry says, hi, Chris. Please make contact. Okay, I already got that one. Yes, Kanye West is running for president. That's the word. Yeah, big whoop. Oh, forgetful Joe, Northern South. Seriously. Santa Cruz says, Chris, is it true that Donald Trump will feature on Mount Rushmore? No, it's not true. That's silly. Anyway. Didn't they catch? Yeah, they caught Epstein's girlfriend. She's in federal custody now. D. Stu says reprehensible that they would put him forward when he clearly has memory problems. Plus, he's a crook. Time for new blood. Kanye running for president. Okay. Now, if Joe Biden wasn't running and Kanye ran as a Democratic candidate, that might be a different story. But that ain't going to happen. Okay. Saw a great vine on Biden. Yakety yak. You ain't black. And these two says young blacks. Yeah, young male blacks especially would vote for Kanye West. Although some white folks would vote for him too. LMS Tactical is a loony, but he's entertaining. He'd probably be awestruck by you though. Okay, well, I'll take a look at it. As long as he's not one of these people advocating bunkers and things like that. We'll see. Lynn says, Chris, why for president? Well, thank you, Lynn. I'm sure that that's very kind of you, but yeah, I like Donald Trump. I'd stay away from that scene for a long time. You see what happens to people that try really hard. He's a retired military Los Angeles police officer. Okay, all right. Well, he's been on the front lines in many respects. Then he's been in Los Angeles and he's been in the military. So, but I like that Gareth says he is a loony. So at least we got that right. That should be interesting. Well, yeah. So like I said, guys. Again, I don't know who. I don't know what. I just saw a question from Erica, and I'll get to it in a moment. But I don't know how many of you may or may not seen my video earlier. I did a video earlier today. It was just a not a riffing, but I thought about ahead of time what I was going to say, but then I just spoke. And the video was about YouTube subscriptions, memberships, super chats, and everything being explained. I had about 271 people watch that, so I'm guessing a lot of people in the stream right now probably did watch it. But the purpose of that was that I keep getting a lot of questions in the stream. People are like, I can't become a member. How do I super chat? Can I be in the WhatsApp group? Yes, if you're a member of Chris White Africa. If you're a subscriber, you cannot be because it's not a subscriber channel. I couldn't handle that. 4,000 subscribers, that'd be insane. It's for members. Anyway, so all those questions keep coming up and people don't know. And look, I get YouTube can be a little confusing at times. I know people who are like, I'm not going to subscribe to that, then they'll track me. Or I'm not going to subscribe to that, they're going to send me a bill. No, you can become a subscriber to any YouTube channel at no cost. It's free. They charge you nothing. And you're welcome to become a subscriber. You can get notified of updates, or you don't have to get notified of updates. And now the question people are asking about, how do I become a member? How do I super chat? That's why I made the videos. So anyway, talk about the fact, the big issue here is that I discovered on my own without YouTube telling me before I even offered memberships on my channel is that you can't super chat on a mobile, which is a security feature. It's meant to protect you so that your information can't be stolen or misused, because mobiles are so easy to break into or steal from somebody and then misuse. So it's just a feature to protect you, and I'm actually glad it's out there. I know it's frustrating for people who are trying to become a member or people who are trying to super chat and they can't do it because they're on a mobile or a tablet. Sorry about that. That's a YouTube feature. I have no control over it. It's their platform. I'm just a content creator on it. Anyway, but I do thank you if you're interested in super chatting or if you're interested in becoming a member and you're unable to do it. My apologies for that, but thank you so much for the thought. The thought does count for something. I really do appreciate that. So thank you. Now, back to the question I saw just a moment ago, which was from Erica, I believe. So I want to get to that. A lot of chats suddenly. Sometimes you guys like quiet and all of a sudden everything comes in. So Erica, whoa, did you delete it, Erica? Erica, did you delete the question? Erica, you deleted the question. You had a question that was very good. Why'd you delete the question? Northern Cell says he's vulgar. Oh, I don't want someone vulgar on my channel. LMS Tacticals on Ronaldo's show. Where is LMS Tacticals? An American, and he was on Ronaldo's show. Interesting. D2 says, how devious is the Democrats are putting Biden forward? Yeah, okay, we saw that already. Sorry. Erica. Erica will ask again. Okay, thank you, Erica. Thank you, Yanni, for putting that up. Yeah, please ask that question again, Erica, because it was a good question. Somehow it disappeared here. I'm not sure why it happened. But Yanni, thank you for putting up the link on that video that I put up earlier. I did it because I know a lot of people keep asking the same questions. And the one, of course, that always comes in, is like, I can't find your email. Come on, guys. Come on. I'm starting to feel like everybody's in a care home, a care facility here who can't find my email. It's not that hard to find. It's not that hard to find. I posted on the community tab, and then people were like, where's the community tab? Okay, so then I actually did it in the stream and went through and showed people. LMS is vulgar but controls itself perfectly on other people's channel. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, the trolls must be tired tonight, Lone Wolf. They must be tired. Yeah, Biden is yet to name his running mate. What's the bet? It will not be Hillary. Odds are it's pretty strongly it'll be Stacey Abrams, who's a gas bag, or Kamala Harris, who's an empty vessel. One of the two of them will likely be his vice presidential candidate. Hillary can't run to the loo, let alone campaign. Yeah, no, well, she's also not very well, folks. Hillary Clinton is not in great physical shape. Oh, no, okay, yeah, there you go, Erica. Yeah, that's a question. So Erica said, maybe it's a stupid question. What are your thoughts on Meghan Markle eventually running for presidency? I don't think that she has enough goodwill in this country and enough interest in her to run for office. She could run for congressional office, perhaps, but she is not going to get the traction she thinks here in America. She's a second-rate B television actor who's mildly entertaining and mildly, attractive. And she likes to play on the fact that she's biracial, and she's just, I don't want to speak too ill of her, but she whines about things that are non-existent. She's constantly whining when they're in the UK about how the press mistreated her, yet they were unbelievably kind and bending over backwards, the British press. I read the British press, not the tabloids so much, but the press, about how they addressed her. And everything was a slight. Oh, we weren't invited because she's black. Well, she's not black. She's biracial. I mean, the girl's whiter than I am when I have a tan, minus the beard right here, but minus that beard. Anyway, the Pete Retief beard. But she's lighter than I am when I get a tan, and she's got Caucasian features, and she walks and talks and acts like a white folk, and then she constantly whines about being mistreated and this, that, and the other. I don't see it, and people that cry wolf too many times can't be taken seriously. I don't think that Meghan Markle will ever get any traction here in the United States, although there is a certain percentage of population that are fascinated by glitz and glory and royalty and nonsense like that. So She could get some votes, of course, but people get votes for dog catchers, so that doesn't really mean much. I don't think that Meghan Markle will ever be a presidential candidate in this country. And for that matter, I don't think Michelle Obama is a legitimate presidential candidate, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the person that people are desperately hoping will come out of the closet at the last minute to replace Sleepy Joe and be the Democratic nominee to run against Donald Trump. I don't think that's going to happen. I just read something again today in which people perpetuated fantasies and myths and lies about America. And they said that the only reason that Bill Clinton and Barack Obama became president is because everyone except white people voted for them. I actually read this. What planet are these people on? Barack Obama set a record for the most votes ever for a presidential candidate in any election in the history of the United States. Now, to be fair, it's because we have 330 million people. When there are 3 million people in this country, there's no way that Thomas Jefferson can get 200 million votes or 65 million votes. And there's no way that Ronald Reagan could have got that many votes because there weren't that many voters voting. So Barack Obama set the record, more than Donald Trump got the last time, more than Hillary Clinton got the last time, back in 2008. But in 2012, after he was exposed himself as a rabid, leftist, anti-American, white-hating, tradition-hating president, Barack Obama lost a lot of votes. So Barack Obama lost somewhere in the order, or Hillary Clinton got 5 million votes less than Barack Obama. Many of them were not just white votes, but a lot of white votes. But the point is that the only reason these people were elected president is because you must win the plurality of the white vote in America in order to win the office. With whiter voters alone, anyone can become president with just white voters. 73% of the population and a higher percentage of the voting eligible population, they're actually higher. So it's about 79% of the voter eligible population that's actually white in this country. So you can't win office in this country without white voters. So to play these stupid games that the press play and analysts play, it's just silly. It's just race baiting. It gets old. The Bruce says Reagan was an actor. He was. He was also the director of the Screen Actors Guild. He was also one of the most successful governors in the history of California, and he was a 2-term president. Your point, Brew? because Meghan Markle was an actor. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. But Ronald Reagan wasn't running around complaining, oh, it hurt my feelings. I've been excluded because I'm different. People get tired of that, Brew. People really get tired of that nonsense. Yep. So, yeah, your point, Reagan was an actor. He was an actor, and he was a B actor too, like Meghan Markle. He was not, but he was in the silver screen. He was in movies, not a television actor. She's just a television actor. D-Stu says, do you think what is happening in South Africa, the killings of whites and taking property, what sometime happened in the U.S.? Well, we just had a farmer killed here in the United States. It does happen. It's not killing a farmer. So let me be clear about that, D-Stu. It's not killing of whites. It's a killing of people who are vulnerable in remote locations. White people tend to be targeted because people assume that they have wealth, even the elderly, but also because they're easy targets because they're vulnerable, easy to pick off. That's why. Now, that leaves open the question, is there a concerted effort to drive whites off the farm? There is a lot of speculation. There is some evidence to suggest there are orchestrated campaigns by some groups to do this. Most recently, I saw a video which someone claimed that they were in prison in Pretoria, and Julius Malema came there and encouraged them to kill white farmers, and he would fund them. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I don't put any credence in it. That's a convicted felon who's in jail who's telling a story, and who knows why he's telling a story. But the point is that when I see the video footage of farm attacks taking place where they show up with body armor and the newest sidearms with lovely holsters, and they've got frequency jamming devices to block cell phone signals, and they're cutting through electric fences, and they're coming in teams and operating in paramilitary or military tactics as they advance on a house. We've seen this footage. Then you have to wonder. Some of these are targets of opportunity. Some of these are revenge. That's a small number. Some of them are gangs that are just taking advantage of things. And some of them are like the situation that happened in KwaZulu-Natal back in 2000 when the nearly 70-year-old Norwegian farmer who'd bought a derelict farm in Zululand not far from Rorke's Drift and had rehabilitated this disused farm and made it productive and hired dozens of Zulu to work for him. Some of the Zulu workers on the farm were greedy, and instead of their pay, they wanted the payroll at the expense of all the other black Zulu farmers. So what they did is they hired a couple thugs to come down from Joburg. They pistol whipped this 70-year-old man to death in his kitchen, and his wife managed to escape out a small window in the pantry, which they had locked her in before they could rape and kill her. She got away, but he died. Yeah, now that was because they were greedy and wanted money, and there was some organization to it. So there's a lot going on with farm killings. But again, it's happening to everybody in the rural areas. Black South Africans, colored South Africans are being murdered in farms and on farmsteads. It's not simply white South Africans. And that's how it's getting, people are turning this into a racial thing, and how it's dismissed by the government and how they get away with it. Because they don't address the true issue of all South Africans being vulnerable. They just talk about the horrific things. Absolutely the case. Right. Anyway, these two, I don't know if I answered your question there. But if I think what you're asking is, because if I misspeak, these two, you tell me. But from what you wrote, I'm inferring that you're saying that there's an orchestrated campaign here to kill whites on farms in South Africa. And do I expect to happen in the United States? Well, 73% of the country is white, so I don't expect to see a bunch of white people running around intentionally targeting white farmers in this country. I don't expect that to happen. Yanni says she annoys me because she made the Prince Harry sell all his guns because in her little mind, people don't kill guns. Yeah, she's just an idiot. Thank you, Yanni, for putting in context there. She's just an idiot, man. That's the problem I have with Meghan Markle. She's just an idiot. She doesn't have the intellectual capacity of a cricket or a grasshopper. She couldn't star in a Disney film. Oh, wait, she is in Disney. But she can't star in a lead role because she doesn't have the intellectual capacity to handle that sort of thing. Her ability to do critical thinking is non-existent. Everything is about race. Everything is about gender. But you notice that her husband's like a little whipped boy. You know, you can see her pulling her finger, come over here, and he responds like a puppy. And he says something, and she kind of like grabs his arm and tugs on him like, shut up, you can't say that. I didn't give you permission to say that. That guy is the P-whipped word, if you know what I mean. No doubt about it. And that's another reason I can't stand her. She's, ugh. Oh, you saw that prison video, did you, Eric? Okay. D-Stu says, thank you, appreciate your response. You're truly informed and value pays. Well, thank you, D-Stu. I appreciate that. Yeah, look, I don't discount that there is organized stuff going on. But the problem is that people have turned it into the term of genocide and accused people of claiming that, like AfriForum, who've never made that statement. All in an effort to delegitimize the argument. So when you talk about a person being brutally murdered on a farm, then you're responding with, well, you don't care about black people dying. Well, yeah, I do. Talk about it all the time. Talk about the 8-month pregnant young lady who was stabbed to death multiple times and then put in a noose and hung from a tree outside Pretoria. We talk about the young UCT student who was lured back to a post office to collect the parcel when it should have been given to her in the first place just so the guy could rape her and then he murdered her. Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Some of us actually pay attention to gender-based violence all the time. Not just for the cameras. Not just when it's convenient. Not just when the reporters are talking to us. Some of us talk about slavery and sex trafficking for years and years and years. Some of us try to do things about it. But these politicians, a different story. And the celebrities, don't get me started on them. We are ready, trust me. Karl Marx rises from the dead. Latest rumor is that mostly illegal foreigners killing the farmers. No proof yet. That's possible. Terrence Lowry says President Trump's 4th of July speech was good. I didn't get to hear it because I tuned in late, but I've heard really good things about it. Mark Levin, I don't know, for those of you who don't know Mark Levin is brilliant. Let me just put his name in there really quick. Mark Levin is an attorney with a radio program. He worked in the Justice Department under Ronald Reagan. Mark Levin is, I'm sorry, there's no E on there, I think. Is there an E? I think it's with an E. Anyway, Mark Levin is brilliant. He has a great radio program in the States. I remember tuning into him the first time I ever heard him. And I'm like, what the heck? Because someone called in his show and was saying something. He's like, shut up, you big dummy. Get off. And he hung up on the guy. I was like, whoa, who is this? What is going on here? Yeah, Mark Levin. So anyway, he's toned down. He's toned down a little bit, but the guy is brilliant. He's a constitutionalist. He knows the law, and he calls out these idiots all the time. I think the problem is a lot of us are dealing in a rational world. We think that talking to cogently and objectively, as Marabani was kind of alluding to this recently, having objective conversation with people that have no intention of being objective. They're simply spouting BS. They don't care. They don't care if you're right. They don't care what's moral. They don't care. They just care about destroying you and winning and getting power. And having a rational argument is not going to convince them. So my point with that is that don't try to convince them. There's people still left in the rational world who can be convinced of the truth and be dissuaded from supporting that sort of nonsense. And that's who you have to address. And Mark Levin is a brilliant, brilliant person. A lot of books. He's got his own broadcast channel, which is now on streams online. I'm no longer subscribed to it because he had his own channel that joined another channel, and I got tired of that channel, so I stopped subscribing to it. Yeah, Gareth, shameful how Prince Harry allows himself to be that. Well, you know what? This is the same guy who, saluted the Nazis, wore Nazi regalia. So I've got very little sympathy for Prince Harry. Yeah, I heard about this, Wesley. Land grabs going on in Dudor near Joburg. They're promising to make the Vol Triangle unmanageable. Eichenhof and Elandsfontein. I heard about that too. Yeah, there you go. Land sold by count. It's like Quark on Deep Space Nine, selling seats on a transport ship that he doesn't own, and then people start a riot because they got cheated out of their money. That's what's happening there. Have to wake your boys up for school. Okay. What career direction would you recommend for someone who is majored in history but can't find work and is trying to support his family himself? Oh, that's a tough one, Doc Breaker. It also depends on location. Think about history degrees in the U.S. context. I can't speak so well in the South African context, but in the U.S. context, I can tell you that a bachelor's degree really doesn't mean much of anything. To an employer, what it means is that you have discipline enough to sit down and complete a program. You are functionally literate. You're expected to have some critical thinking skills. Good luck that being the case, but you're expected for that. And you have some discipline. And you can achieve things. So that's what a four-year bachelor's degree does. So it really doesn't matter what the degree is in, with a few exceptions. So you can have a degree in history, political science, philosophy, business administration. It really doesn't matter what field you're going into. Any of those degrees will get you into the world of business in the U.S. I can't speak around the world. Different countries are different. It's when you get a master's degree and then a PhD that specialization matters for jobs that come after that. But depending on the field you go in, the difference between a master's degree and a bachelor's degree when it comes to earnings can be marginal. And a PhD, it just depends, a very specific thing. So what I would suggest is send me an email offline. I'll chat with you. I'm happy to offer some advice if I can. We'll see, rather than do it here in the chat. So send me that note, Doc Breaker, and I'll see if I can help you out with some advice. Maybe we can chat on the phone. Let me see what else we got here. Monkey pushing wood. Trump is a barking dog, never bites, still waiting for 10-year prison for anyone pulling down statues. Okay, well, monkey pushing wood, you actually have to arrest people. You have to schedule a court. You have to arraign them. You schedule a court date. Then they go to court. Trump said he was going to prosecute for 10 years a week ago. That's more than a speedy trial. That's an outrageously speedy trial. Yeah, 150 people have been charged so far. As I said in my stream, how about the other 150,000? When you've got 150,000 in the docket, then I'll be impressed. Anyway, but we have people who've been charged with those crimes. Long overdue, but there's a reason why Trump responded slowly, because of the mischaracterization of his actions by people on the left in the press. Wesley's off to bed. Have a good night. I'm going to break here in about 15 minutes, I'm going to say. D2, Trump's speech about Rushmore was what was needed to be said, warning that the statue toppling was not going to be tolerated and that America does not need to be ashamed for history. No, we don't. Follow through is critical. You're absolutely right. And Trump is one of the few politicians who has followed through on things he's promised. Now, we'll see if he does it here, but he has to do it here. We cannot tolerate lawlessness. It doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't make black Americans safer or wealthier. It doesn't make white Americans safer or wealthier. All it does is lead to an abrogation of the rule of law. And you see people attacking people in the streets as if there's no consequences to it, because there have been no consequences to it. We've had murders occur in self-declared autonomous zones, treason, insurrection. Who is in jail for treason in this country? Nobody. Why not? There's that rapper who's in charge of Chaz. Why is he locked up in jail? Charged with treason and insurrection against the government. Should be. Follow through absolutely matters. Absolutely matters. Bruce says, I'm over politicians talking. It's time for action. Well, in the United States, we've had action. We've had a lot of action. We've had someone stand up to China and change the whole deal. We've had someone stand up for the out-of-date and failing NAFTA agreement, and now we have a much better deal with USMCA. Not perfect, but much better. We've had someone stand up to Russia. We've had someone stand up to ISIS and eviscerate ISIS and end that carnage, finally. We've had someone stand up to lazy, tight-fisted, freeloading European nations in NATO and force them to come to grips with the fact that they're freeloaders. That's Donald Trump. He's done all that. We've also had Donald Trump stand up to little Kim, the Rocket Man. And he no longer launches his rockets over Japan. What did that cost us? A conference? A meeting? The press losing its mind over it. We gave them nothing. We didn't give them oil like Bill Clinton did and food so the North Korean regime could survive. And instead of having 16 million people turn on their communist overlords and overthrow it in the People's Revolution, we didn't do that. Clinton allowed and enabled the North Korean regime to continue under Kim Il-sung. Or Kim Jong-il, excuse me. Anyway, there's just so many, I can't keep track of them. Anyway, but the second one, the dear leader, not the grand, or whatever, one of the leaders. The Clinton administration gave them free petroleum, gave them food so they wouldn't starve to death, enabling them to survive for years longer than they would have survived if the people just turned on them. Now, I'm not advocating letting people starve or freeze, but I'm just saying that's the reality of it. Donald Trump gave them nothing, but the press acts as if Donald Trump gave them the keys to the palace. He legitimized the ruler of North Korea. Well, it's de facto, ladies and gentlemen. That family has ruled that country since 1949. So what are you talking about? He didn't legitimize anything. What he did is he stroked the guy's ego, and Rocket Man climbed down off his perch, being the clown he was, and went back to oppressing his own people and stopped launching intercontinental ballistic missiles over the airspace of Japan. An act of war each and every time it occurs, every time it enters their airspace. And that was accomplished. Donald Trump accomplished nothing with North Korea. No, he ddid. He accomplished quite a bit, actually. But you're too stupid to do critical analysis and too dishonest to think clearly and to share with people what happened. Is Donald Trump perfect? No, guys, far from it. He's callow. Not callous, excuse me. He's callous. He's callous. He's crude. He's a bully. But he's our bully, damn it. That's right. He's our bully. Where's my hat at? I got to get my hat out now. All right, Erica, this one's for you. All right. That's right. Donald Trump may be a bully, but he's our bully. That's right. Donald Trump is our bully. That's right. Got my cowboy hat on now. There you go. All right. So Donald Trump is our bully. That's right. Anyway, so we are happy to have him. Gareth says, would you rather support the DA or the Freedom Front Plus? I would answer that question, Gareth, by saying it depends on where I live and it depends on what the date is. All right. Right now, the Freedom Front Plus is a fringe minority party. And I don't say fringe from its beliefs. I've read their party platform. I almost said manifesto. You guys got me speaking that communist vernacular, which is so prevalent in South Africa. But I read their party platform, and it was very much in the center, most of it. And the way that they've been written about and talked about in the press is dishonest in my view. So I read that for the 2019 election. I'm like, oh, the Freedom Front Plus has come back to the middle in some ways. So I have no objections to their platform if they're earnest in it, and I have no reason to doubt that. The Democratic Alliance under John Steenhuisen is back on the right path. They lost the plot under confused poor Musi Maimane, who really doesn't know what he wants in life, and he's just pandering to people now. They lost the plot, and the DA lost my interest for about 2 years, almost 3 years there, after this historic win in 2016 when they won these municipalities and entered into coalitions in Nelson Mandela Bay, Johannesburg, and Pretoria. But in 2021, presuming there is an election, and there should be an election, the Democratic Alliance should easily win a majority in those cities, and also Cape Town. So we'll see what happens there. But because of that, it's likely that if I were South African, at this point, I would probably vote DA. But I reserve my right to vote. Anyway, so yeah, that one's for you, Erica, if you're still there. That's my cowboy hat. That's right. Because this is the land of cowboys. But you know, we're not the only country with cowboys, ladies and gentlemen. There are cowboys in Argentina, the Gauchos. There are cowboys in Australia. All right, so you're all safe in America. Not really, bro. People in major metropolitan cities are in danger right now. People have been assaulted in the streets. 90-year-old white women attacked by thuggish black teenager because she's white, nearly died, striking her head on a fire hydrant. People being attacked simply for the color of their skin in this country. And people in Utah, of all places, 97% of the population is white. All the protesters showing up are white. And a white idiot shoots a motorist. Why? Happened twice. Happened in Provo and another location in a state that is overwhelmingly Mormon. The Mormons are pretty cool people. They're well behaved. They respect, and they're respectful. Yet we have it happening there. Terrence says, Poland is a country. Polish people are patriotic, love their flag. Have you worked? I've never worked the Polish army. I've seen them in the field, but I've never worked with them. Yeah, the major in history, in the U.S. wouldn't matter. It's you. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. When you go in for a job, especially when you're younger, and I've hired people, so I know what I'm talking about. The CV is something, and unlike a lot of employers, I look at CVs, I read them, or resumes. We don't really call them CVs here in America for the most part, but I read them thoroughly, and for Africans too. And I look for certain things, and I won't share that right now, but I look for certain things. When I interview somebody, the interview is what seals it or breaks it. I've had very impressive people on paper, and then they've sat in front of me, and they're either pompous, they're arrogant, they're not as informed as their CV would lead me to believe, or they're just not all that curious about the job, and they don't want to be a team player. So the interview is what matters. You got to get your foot in the door. The key is the interview. Now, in this upside down world of what's going on now, where if you're a white actor in America, you're unlikely to be able to get a gig doing a commercial because 80% of the people appearing in commercials are black, even though only 13% of the population is black, because of the intentional effort by the television industry to achieve that for whatever ends, I don't know. I suspect I know why, but I don't know. That's a different story. But we're talking about going to work in business or another part of society. Gareth says, I recommend writing a book. Who? To me? I've written a few, but yeah, I've got a few ideas for another book coming up, and I haven't really sat down and done it. When is the next mayor or governor election for Seattle? That's a good question. I don't know that, Tian. I'd like to, hopefully they're this fall, so both those idiots can be thrown out. You don't need to lock your doors every night. You're happy sheep walking towards the pen. The fact you don't lock your doors at night doesn't make you sheep. It means you live in a place where law and order matters. It also probably means that you're armed. But yeah, I recommend people lock their doors. Or you could be a high school teacher. Yeah, if you want to be a teach, but that depends. There's a lot of politics involved in that. Gareth says, I'm not sure he's a bully. It's bravado to prevent people from taking a piss. Yeah, well, I would disagree with that, Gareth. I mean, there was no reason to attack Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a brilliant conservative. And he was the only real person with any traction against Donald Trump. But he attacked Ted Cruz and called him names and belittled his character. And it stuck. And Ted Cruz was no longer his opponent in the Republican primary. And that's what I mean by bully. He did it to Marco Rubio, but little Marco, he's a hollow vessel. He's another, I'll be whatever they want me to be kind of guy, like the Pete Buttigieg of the Republican Party. So no, but Ted Cruz is a serious conservative and someone who stood up for right time and again in the Senate. And I didn't like the way that Trump treated him. He treated him like a bully. Anyway, love the hat. Thank you, Linda. Yes, I did just change hats. Trump may not be perfect, but he's better than the alternatives. Yanni says the Chinese Communist Party started to take over the world without having to fire a shot. Yeah, no, someone's been reading Sun Tzu. I read it. Where's the rant? I don't have a rant. What happens to America after Trump? I see balkanization in America coming. And that depends on who gives an office after Trump. And I presume that Trump's going to be president for the next 4 years. So we'll see what happens. 58 people murdered today in South Africa. Yeah, about 60. The figure's down slightly because of the lockdown has skewed that. But yeah, it's 60 normally, 57, 60. Under 16-year-old whites are minority. Race doesn't matter, like it or not. That's only because we've flooded our doors and let people pour in here. That's why. 2 aircraft carriers sent to Taiwan in news. I didn't see that. I'll check into that, Anna. That's a good question. Oops. Well, that was weird. Are we still on? Are we still live? Let me see if we're live. I'm going to wave my hand here, and I'll see if people still see me. Okay, that was really strange. All right. I don't know if I had a power fluctuation here, but everything locked up for a second. I think that the listening devices were just tuned in to Chris White Africa. Anyway, that's what happened here. Suddenly my screen froze up as they tapped into my feed. Well, for those of you listening in the control center, whether that's at the National Security Agency or GCHQ, or if you happen to be at the Chinese Communist Party Center watching what's on Chris White Africa, we've only said nice things about you tonight. So relax. It's all good. We love you, man. We love you. Anyway. But now I see a lag in my stream, so that's okay. But anyway, I'll keep going. We're almost at the end anyway here. Protesters attacked the Atlanta State Patrol headquarters last night. Gee, mini crickets. That's crazy. I didn't see that. Trump 2.0. What's this? I hope there is a Trump 2.0. Yeah, well, there's some really talented younger Republicans. A congressman from Georgia is a good candidate. There's a few others who are really talented in the Republican Party who could rise. Jim Jordan from Ohio would be a brilliant presidential candidate. He's amazing. We'll see what happens there. Step away not to get smokes and saw a flicker. Yeah, I didn't step anywhere, Gareth, and I saw the flicker. Like I said, they've just tuned in. Yeah, Dr. Wang just tapped in. Exactly right. So now you know what it looks like when someone taps into the line. All right, folks, Trump should stop entertaining the fake news media, give them 10 years as well for propagating fake news to influence citizens. Well, that's not really how it works in democracy. So, but I get your sympathy there. And all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Remember, tomorrow, Dax, a Swati / Ndebele South African painter, will be on the program. Please tune in for that tomorrow. In addition to Dax on Monday, on Tuesday, I'll have Marlis from my Marlis. She'll be on here Tuesday, the instant celebrity. And then Wednesday, I have Nadine Hoffeld right here on Chris White African. Nadine, I'll do my best not to be a fanboy, folks, but please tune in for that special feature live stream. On Friday, we have Giselle once again talking about all the songs on her new album. And that should be entertaining. I've got more guests coming up. I've written down a note about the folks you guys asked me to bring on, including the guy who's a little crazy. And if you've got more suggestions, send me an email. If you don't know how to send me an email, watch the video on my channel that explains how to do super chats, what a subscription is, what membership is, how to become a member, and how to email me. It's all discussed in that video. So please do that. Anyway, so Willem Wickelsby says, great show, Colonel. Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Had some light attendance the last few days. I was getting a little concerned if people disappear from YouTube or there's some shadow banning going on, but we had a good audience this evening on a Sunday. So thank you all for tuning in for that. I'm really, really grateful. And thank you so much for your patronage of the channel. Please pass the word. No new members and no super chats during the stream, I don't think, but let me just double check and see, make sure. If let me see, memberships, and we're currently sitting at membership on the channel at 63. Linda, did you just become a member and I missed that? Linda Smith? Oh my goodness. This is why I check, ladies and gentlemen. So Linda became a member. Maybe that was the flicker. Linda, did you cause a channel to flicker? Anyway, so Linda Smith has become a member of Chris White Africa. Thank you so much for that, Linda. I don't know if it happened before the stream or during the stream, but you didn't get credit. It didn't come up. So Linda, thank you so much for becoming a member. This is why I check, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you might be like, well, he's just trying to shill for memberships and super. No, I'm trying to give people credit for becoming members. Yeah, Linda, it says 0 days, so she's joined today. Thank you so much, Linda, for becoming a member of Chris White Africa. We're now up at 63 members in just over 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. That's really, really awesome. Thank you so much for that. And no super chats. The last one was from Brett yesterday during that session. Anyway, so thank you all so much for that. We are at 4,181 subscribers. The pace has slowed down a little bit of late, but nonetheless, people are still joining the channel. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Right, Ranger Jakes. Hey, by the way, Ranger Jake, thanks for your questions with the stream yesterday with Major General Johan Josta. They were good questions. Appreciate your feedback. And maybe we could bring you on the channel and talk about what you do if you don't mind, the celebrity, if that's not a problem. Anyway, folks, God bless. Be safe. Have a good evening. I'm going to close out, as I always do on Stray Voltage, with Giselle, and this will be Pleka in Zona. See you here tomorrow on Chris White Africa. Feel free to watch my videos on Zimbabwe and Namibia, 3 of them from today. They're on the channel, prepared videos. You can watch them. And if you don't mind, if it says a commercial, just let the commercial play, okay? What's this? Dagaboy has questions. Questions what? What questions? Okay, before I go, what's the questions? Everybody's leaving, Dagaboy. Send me an email, Dagaboy, and tell me what the questions were, and I'll address them later on or on the next stream. Okay, folks, that's it. Have a good evening. Yeah, we can chat, Ranger. That'd be good. Maybe I'll get you on the channel too. See, folks, I try to bring celebrities on. I try to bring ordinary folks on the channel because everybody's got a story to tell. You know, Big Daddy Liberty's like, never trust a commie. Well, maybe my tagline will be, everybody's got a story to tell, because everybody does. People are fascinating whether they realize it or not. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, God bless and have a good night.